To define African literature. There are 54 nations which make up Africa. Each of these separate countries have their own history, culture, tribes and traditions. That being said, there are some commonalities shared by literature which comes from the continent as a whole. Defining African literature can be complicated. There are some authors who believe African literature can only be composed in African languages. Others believe African literature can be composed in any language so long as it is composed by authors from Africa. African literature has origins dating back thousands of years to ancient Egypt's hieroglyphs, or writing which uses pictures to represent words. These ancient Egyptian beginnings led to the Arabic poetry, which spread during the Arabic conquest of Egypt in the 7th century CE and through Western Africa in the 9th century CE. These African and Arabic cultures continued to blend with the European culture and literature to form a unique literary form. Africa experienced several hardships in its long history, which left an impact on the themes of its literature. One hardship which led to many others is that of colonization. Colonization is when people leave their country and settle in another land, often one which is already inhabited. The problem with colonization is when the incoming people exploit the indigenous people and the resources of the inhabited land. Colonization led to slavery. Millions of African people were enslaved and brought to Western countries around the world from the 16th to the 19th centuries. This spreading of African people, largely against their will, is called the African diaspora. Sub-Saharan Africa developed a written literature during the 19th and early 20th centuries. This development came as a result of missionaries coming to the area. The missionaries came to Africa to build churches and language schools in order to translate religious texts. This led to Africans writing in both European and indigenous languages.